This morning, I met with the Attorney General and the leadership of the Guyana Police Force. And the meeting was geared at three fundamental issues. One is the accidents on our roadways. It is my belief that the traffic chief, the Commissioner of Police, must ensure that the traffic chief and his ranks are implementing to the fullest and maximum operability the laws governing the safe and proper use of our roadways. We cannot continue to have this type of indiscipline on our roadways, especially with the trucks and truck drivers. So whilst we will hold truck drivers responsible, I have asked the Attorney General to examine the laws to see where there are gaps so that truck owners can also have the responsibility of ensuring their drivers work within guidelines. As it is now, the law provides for the suspension of license. And I've asked the traffic chief, Commissioner of Police, and the leadership of the Guyana Police Force to take immediate steps to have this law implemented fully. With all the speeding that is taking place on our roadways, only 18 suspensions this year does not speak to the magnitude of the issue we have on our roadways. So truck drivers on the whole, but especially those truck drivers, public transportation drivers, I'm asking you not to do anything special. All I'm asking you to do in the interest of saving lives is comply with the law, comply with the rules. So I've asked also that the body cam we procured and are procuring for the Guyana Police Force traffic ranks especially, that those body cams be used in the execution of duties, traffic duties, so we can have video evidence and recording. I've asked that the cameras, the CCTV cameras, help us to identify these errant drivers, these lawless drivers, who obviously have no regards for their own lives, but put in danger the lives of others. As President today, I held this meeting to outline very clearly to the leadership of the Guyana Police Force, who are also very concerned, our severe concern about the present situation on our roadways. Secondly, on the issue of drinking under the influence of alcohol, we passed a law in which bar owners have a responsibility to relieve drivers of their keys and not to sell alcohol to drivers. I've asked the Guyana Police Force to also ensure that this law is enforced and implemented to the maximum. First of all bars must carry signage within the bars to effect this law. Today, the Guyana Police Force is once again going to send the wording for such signage that must be placed in every single bar across the country. The wording for the signage must be placed in every bar across the country. We're going to I asked the AG earlier to see whether we can also amend the laws to have the license of bars suspended. The license of bars suspended if they're not complying with this regulation and this law. We cannot continue the carnage on our roads. We cannot continue the lawlessness on our roads. Thirdly, in keeping with the laws again and all the public notices, and with our investment in technology, as you know, the Hero Highway carries traffic cameras that is directly linked to the Guyana Police Force and Guyana Revenue Authority. They have been issuing tickets. How many speeding tickets we issued so far?
883, sir.
Huh?
883.
On that highway.
On that highway, 883.
On that highway alone, the Heroes Highway, we have issued 893 tickets so far this year. They are now going to go through all the drivers, because this public notice was there, who continuously speed more than 3 times. And they will move in accordance with the law to have those licenses suspended. We have to take these actions to save you. We have to take these actions to save you from yourselves, because you put your life at risk. And in putting your life at risk, we're also putting the life of others at risk. I'm pleading with drivers to comply with the laws. Very soon, we'll also be putting up speed advisory digital boards across different highways that would give you an indication as to the speed you're going at. I will ask now the Commissioner of Police to say a few words.
Good morning, Excellency. Good morning, viewers. As the Commissioner of Police, we are tasked with the responsibility of ensuring the roads are clear in terms of carnage. We are still seeing a lot of misrepresentation of driving, and we are still seeing carnages. And so, based on Your Excellency's outright position this morning, we're going to double back and we're going to put all the mechanisms in place. Drivers, you're going to see us, we're going to be working with you, and of course, who would have made mistakes in terms of proceeding in excess of 100 on the new highway, and this is the heroes I refer to. You're going to be dealt with first, truck drivers. We're going to be coming after you, we're going to be putting you in order, and in fact, we're going to have retraining, we're going to have it redone. We have people went to the USA and they did the 5 days training. Immediately after this cold weather would have concluded, we're going to do 2 weeks, and we're going to add that as part of the curriculum. And so drivers will be dealing with you as of today, throughout the season, and throughout next year. That's it.
These are necessary steps. These are necessary steps to avoid the abuse of our roadways. And as I said, to build public trust, the traffic ranks will have their body cams,
Yes, sir.
because that will be part of the process too. This is a work together. And I'm pleading with commuters. If you are in a public transportation that is driving dangerously, that is putting you and other passengers' life at risk, you have a responsibility too. Please stop the bus, disembark, and report that bus. This is an effort that requires all of us to be responsible. that requires all of us to be responsible. The final issue that I've raised with the Commissioner today is in relation to the illegal use of sirens and lights, emergency lights. If you have sirens and emergency lights illegally on your vehicle, I'm asking you to remove them immediately. I've asked the Attorney General to amend the laws with a fine and suspension of license for persons who are illegally using license and sirens. And for those security companies and others especially who are granted permission for the use of lights, the law will also provide for the removal of those lights and suspension of your security license if you're abusing those siren and lights. We're seeing tremendous abuse. I've also asked the police, the Commissioner of Police and his team, to move immediately. On all those shops, centers who are selling these illegal lights and sirens. All those who are installing these illegal lights and sirens. I've asked the Commissioner of Police also to have his team examine this, because you too are part of the problem. So today, with the leadership of the Guyana Police Force and the traffic chief, I wanted to address this. We just concluded a meeting. The Attorney General was there on these matters, because these matters are important to me, the government, the police, and more importantly, the people of our country. We have to stop this nonsense on our roadways. And we can only do so if we do so collectively, together as a people. So drivers, I'm appealing to you. No one is going after you. All we're asking you to do is to comply. All we're asking you to do is to help us save your own lives and the lives of others. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you.
It is already public knowledge that we have made a series of amendments to our road traffic laws to ensure public safety. We have implemented amendments that address drunken driving, and we have attached the harshest possible penalties where persons are found guilty, especially when they cause death. We have introduced in this regard the offense of motor manslaughter. At the same time, we have also addressed the issue of selling intoxicating liquor at restaurants to drivers. And we have put a regime in place to ensure that those who sell liquor to drivers and drivers drive after consuming that liquor, the owner of the establishment, the seller of the liquor, as well as the driver and those in company of the driver are all liable for different types of criminal offenses under the Road Traffic Act. As a result of the continuous danger being posed on our roads, in particular by lorries that are laden, but more especially those that are laden and speeding, as well as unladen, we are going to introduce a strict regime of penalties and regulation to ensure that we minimize the risks caused by these lorries to road users. We are going to impose speed limits. We are going to tie those speed limits to laden weight. We are going to ensure that certain areas or certain roads are only to be used. And we are going to ensure, obviously, that the drivers are licensed and they are qualified to drive these types of vehicles. We cannot continue with the carnage in the manner that we are doing now, and we are going to implement these adjustments to the laws, and we are going to prosecute them and enforce them to the fullest to ensure that we make our roadways a safe place.